quick. He's not gonna keep the beard, but I'm gonna show you how you would do the beard if you wanted to get the whole arch going. So the main thing, first things first, is you wanna get the jawline. So that's pretty simple. It's from where this goes. You most likely just wanna go straight down with it, right? Now it depends. This is all preference. Some people might like a beard right on the jawline. A lot of people like the full beard, so it's basically right under their jawline. Me, I'm a fan of blending it out. Like I usually just, the same thing I did here, I usually like to do the same thing at the bottom. So I'll just start with my guideline. But if you wanted to make a line, you can simply raise his head, have him tilt that way. If the person has a problem with ingrown hairs, just never pass a razor.
Okay.
This machine won't give ingrown hairs because it doesn't cut short enough for the. This machine cuts it, but the hair's still outside of the skin.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they suffer from once you cut them there, if you see an ingrown hair and they ask you for a razor, you'll advise them against it. If they keep insisting, you let them know, hey, it might not turn out, tomorrow you might regret it, but sometimes the customer, well, yeah. No, yeah, sometimes, like if you see an ingrown hair, usually I wouldn't pass the razor because that's basically where it comes from.
This is more like a trend, right?
Huh?
This is more like a trend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And also if your machine is too sharp, if it's adjusted too sharp, you can like go like this on somebody's neck, you can like slice them open. Yeah, that's why you gotta make sure. Like you notice before I put the machine on him, I always do this. It's a habit. It's just to make sure if I go like this and I go ow, I seen it, So I always like to make sure. And sometimes it's not even your fault. Sometimes the machine just adjusts, the screws go loose, you're putting it down, so but it's not supposed to happen. Now, once you got that, you can pretty much see where the beard would go, right? You see the line. What you'll do is we'll start from here, and we'll go straight down. So you pick your guideline on his mustache, whatever it is. I like to, full beard we're gonna do, so we're gonna end it on the top of the lip, and we go straight down.
Don't forget we do
You don't want to hold it too close to the blade because you're adding too much tension. So that's the sharp part, so you can easily slice. You want to it has like a little, usually I have a little finger groove. You want to hold it, as far as from the finger groove, your pinky, keeping it has a rest actually for your pinky, the same way your shears do for your pinky, right? And now with the razor, you want to always place it flat on the skin, and nice long, not super long strokes, but you don't want to either, because the part of cutting is the stroke. So you kind of want to get a nice going. And as long as you're stretching the skin, it's not impossible, but it's really hard to cut them. That's why the main thing is to stretch the skin. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing, right? If I'm gonna shave him, I will definitely use beard oil and everything. But when I'm just gonna do an outline, I'm not shaving as much, so I kind of want it a little rough because when it's too slippery, everything would it'll be easier to slip a little bit more than you would want to, So usually just a little bit of water, and right on the edge. The reason I was drying it was I didn't want the water to be on the cheek because I need to actually have friction to stretch it out. So here, I'm gonna stretch his cheek. As you can see, when I stretch it, you see that it looks all wobbly, right? So all I really have to do is take my razor, make that wobbly line straight. Once it's straight, I let it go. You see how it just superly arched. Just to keep it going, the same thing. You see it looks wobbly there. When I stretch it, it's still gonna look wobbly. So you make sure that line is straight, and you can just let it go. Same technique you use to blend this, you're gonna use to blend here. The only difference is the longer hairs on the bottom, the shorter hairs on top. So now you're working backwards. So it'll be, let's say I would take I don't know exactly what length he has on his beard, so I would most likely go for like whatever number I think is more than what he has, and just kind of clean the bottom. So I see that's a 2. Now that I know that I hit the 2 there, I will go for my one, but I will do my one. Should I do my one under or above? Yeah. So I do my one right above. Same thing we did earlier. Hitting the line. Now we can go back to our half. Coming that down. Hitting the line. We already know that's a 0 because we did it from the top. So now we can just play with it. And pretty much, you know, then you just keep, if he's gonna keep it, you'll try to perfect all the little edges. Same thing with the shape up here. You just put the razor right behind while pulling that, and as long as you just touch it, it'll just come down. Yeah. Or you can just make it straight down, depending on how you wanna go. Because remember, your jawline is not a straight down jawline. It goes like this behind your ear. When you feel it, yeah. So you don't wanna just bring it like this, because then you'll still see the jawline behind the beard. So it'll be funny if I had a beard and you can see the star you're gonna see. Well, you will see it, but you'll say what a dumb design that is.
It looks like Star Baby. The 5 points.
Right, so now I got that. So now I'm just cleaning out. I'm cleaning out the inside of the star. This, you'll see. Usually they pop out more when you do it with the straight razor. But I don't know if you're gonna let me do it with the straight razor. You'll still see it beautifully, right? Alright. So that's more or less the star, but that's not how you're gonna leave it in the hair because it looks just like a patch. Right? So the way that a design will work on hair is you would think that's your design. Some barbers will do that and that's your star. It's a little lopsided because I'm not using the straight razor, but I'm just trying to show the method. The way the design will work is that's your inner design. Now you take your machine, right? Again, I'm doing it pretty sloppy, but you see it forming up.
Beautiful, very nice. That's skill. Can you turn it so they can see?
So let's say,
Nice.
right, you would take a little more time to do it and you'll have more than a beard, because the beard is a weird place to do it. But we said razors highlight the sharpness of anything. So I can really bring out the details of the star.
It's okay. I'm not gonna get the angle. I don't know.
It looks nice. I would keep it.
Right? I keep it too. It's
I would keep
It's
it.
great. You make this look so easy.
So on the hairline in the front, this varies depending on if the person actually has all the hair in the front, how much they have. Luckily, he has all of it. So you basically will start from the center, and we already did this line. So you start from the center and just try to connect the center to.
Not from the temples.
No, because it's harder for you to make a straight line like this than it is to just connect 3 little lines together. And remember, your machine itself. This is where you use your whole machine. You don't want to use a tip here. You want everything you do with this. You want to make sure you put the whole machine down because you'll know that it'll make a straight line. So you're just connecting a lot of. You're not dragging it. You're just connecting the machine to create as many straight lines as you can. You know. And if it doesn't look super sharp, you don't gotta worry about that because, like we always said, the sharpness comes from the razor. To get the hairline done, whenever you have a swirl, you always want to stretch as much as you can. This edge right here, you don't want to stretch the skin that much because it's a straight line. So you know what I'm saying? If I was doing an oval, I would stretch like this. But since I want a straight line, you still want to stretch enough, but just enough so you don't cut them, but you don't want to stretch it, you know? Because then you'll have a little oval there and you don't want that. The same thing with the top. What I'm doing, you're not supposed to do, I guess, by school policies. You're never supposed to have a finger in front of the razor. So I'm supposed to do it like this. But since I'm too tall, I'm just gonna still stretching the skin with this finger. Right, that's the main thing. Whenever you're putting a razor to somebody, you just always want to make sure you're stretching the skin. Because when you don't stretch the skin, that's when you get those little, like, a little bump on the roll, like, boop, and that's the cut. Like, boop. But if the skin is stretched, it's smooth. So it's just, the razor's smooth, your skin is smooth, it should smoothly across. And then usually you will have cream or shaving cream, like water will do it. Anything that will help out. But if you're shaving somebody, I recommend full shaving cream. Like what I have, the mullet, your guideline will be, you literally gotta make a square right here as your guideline, and then you blend like this.
You have that?
Yeah. Well, it's long now, but yeah.
No, it comes. Put it on, you just cut them to the way you want them.
See their prices on their legs.
Oh yeah, I know.
But if you get, well, the mill's the same way. Only difference is that, you know, you really don't want to use a glue method because gluing can be very damaging after, so that glue don't touch your scalp.
How do you keep the stock to cut? Cut it out then after you?
No, it fits.
Oh, okay.
Stocking caps fits. And
The ones I see with the guy, they glue it on. Like they
no, you can
brush in the skin. Show the hand, you go right,
to the point where
and then they'll go in, and they'll do some twisties, and they'll tie you up some crazy threads.
by the time it's done, their hair look just like this here.
But that one's really easy, but they get this.
Yeah, they have this. I
Dress to
see
your
some
hair.
for straight hair, I see some for curly.
For flat top, it will hardly like you will have to pick it up as much as you can. That's the only way. Yeah, you just freehand one, all the way, and then after you do that, then you do this again, and your flat top gets messed up again, and then you freehand again, and then you gotta do this like 8 times in his hair to be able to get a flat top. That's why when you see a real nice flat top, it's not just a oh, it's oh, yeah. And when you see somebody with a nice flat top, you appreciate their barber because it's there's no machine to do it. It has to be done freehand. Well, because you will only do a flat top on his kind of hair, and if you wet it, it just.
Oh, yeah.
So then you're gonna be picking. Now it's gonna be curly. The machine won't cut it.
Okay.
So yeah, you just pick it up as much as you can, and then most likely, like. Let me take a little bit on. You put it on your zero, and you literally
Lightly.
from the sides. Yeah. But now I'm just gonna show this part right here. Let me just take a look at this. I'm gonna show what happens once I pick it, even after I cut it a good length off. So even after you cut it and made it even, once you pick it, it will go back like that. So the point of keep doing it and picking is you want to make sure that once he picks it at home, it will pick up into a perfect little flat top.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really, really hard and time consuming, but there's people, and it's the same method to get the, you ever seen people that have like a little light bulb? It looks like a little afro that looks perfect like a little light bulb?
That's what I love.
Yeah, that
Hard
takes,
to, right?
but at the same time, it also takes, like the person styling their hair, they also like him, like he can, you also gotta like kind of pat it down. You know what I mean? If it makes any kind of sense.
It's a shame though.
Back to kidding.
Yeah.
After you explain this to me. This sounds hard.
Hey, Steve Harvey's barber used to get paid $1,500 a haircut, and Steve Harvey got a haircut every 2 days. Just because I was the guy that made the perfect little afro for him.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I heard his hair was toupee.
After a while. Yeah, he had a little too. That's when he went bald.
Yeah.
And his
It was BIGEN, BJ.
They have this for girls now.
yeah.
Huh?
They have it for girls now.
But it's
It's like a
really,
little-
really,
You couldn't use
You
them.
guys couldn't.
it stays very, very hard.
And then also some people they might get irritated by it, and it becomes like a big like red rash.
They can't take it off.
That's where cosmetology comes in. A barber in barber school, I never learned chemicals. I never learned how to what colors go with what. That's not. No, we learn facials, cutting, and make sure we don't give nobody a sickness. You know, which is
Teach you guys facials?
yeah. We learn
That's
facial.
awesome.
That comes with barbering, a facial and all that comes with barbering. But we never learn chemicals, which comes down to being what can, you know, like waxing. Like we can't even do waxing.
Oh, wow.
No. Right, that's beijing.
Oh, that makes sense. Like, I've seen them shave the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Wax the eyebrows.
Well, now with the internet, everything's more advanced. Like if you're really, really into your craft, like there's no reason why you should be doing the eyebrows with a razor when you could just learn how to thread them
Yeah.
and just charge an extra $20. And now instead of somebody having to go get them thread somewhere, just give me the 20. You're already getting the haircuts. Yeah. I'll charge you $20 and I'll just do it right here.
And the trust is more out there now because COVID. Everybody's
So-
wearing.
Time consuming. It's like, why would I leave my barber to go wait in another line or go call somebody to get my eyebrows done when he knows how to thread?
If you don't, if your daughter or son is doing something wrong, you know,